Jane is an all-in-one practice management software that offers a fully integrated payment solution called Jane Payments. Although the world of payment processing can be complex, Jane Payments was built to help make things as simple as possible to help you get paid. And it's easy to get started. Here's how. Head to jane.app/payments to book a one-on-one demo with a member of Jane's support team. This can give you a better sense of how Jane Payments can integrate with your practice by seeing some popular features in action. If you know you're ready to get started, you can sign up for Jane. Use the code WELLNESS1MO for a 1-month grace period while you settle in. Once you're in your new Jane account, you can flip the switch on for Jane Payments at any time. Ideally, as soon as you get started, so you can take advantage of Jane's time and money-saving features. It only takes a few minutes, and you can start processing online payments right away. Jane's promise to you is transparent rates and unlimited support from a team that cares. As health and wellness providers, we know that better patient outcomes require a whole person, multidisciplinary approach that we just can't provide on our own. That's why I've started the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'll be bringing you interviews with experts, tips, tricks, secrets, resources, systems, and solutions so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And creating your wellness center won't feel like starting over. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today on the show, we have Dayna Hrovath. Dayna, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you today. I'd love if we could start with you sharing with our audience a little bit about yourself, how you got to be doing what you're doing now.
Sure. So I am owner of Fountain Mills Functional Wellness, and I mainly focus on helping people with chronic skin conditions, specifically psoriasis. And my background is I'm a dermatology physician assistant, but who also has done further functional medicine training. And I wear two hats. I have my PA hat that I wear to work in the clinic atmosphere, working in conventional medicine. And then I have my other hats where I'm doing the Fountain Mills Functional Wellness and helping people really be able to focus on changing their lifestyle in order to see improvements with their psoriasis so that medications aren't their only answer. And so with the functional medicine training, created a 10-week online program for people to go through, to walk them step by step through each module to know really what to do, where to go. There's just so much information out there on the internet trying to figure it out on your own. So it just walks them step by step on what they need to do to be able to see improvements on their own.
Wonderful. So let's start with sort of how you define psoriasis. I think we might assume that a lot of listeners understand what that is, but let's start with a basic definition of psoriasis to give people some context.
Sure. Psoriasis is an autoimmune inflammatory condition that most people are familiar with affecting their skin. And there's all different types. Typically, when you see pictures, you're going to see on the elbows and the knees thick red plaques with little silvery white flaky scales on top. But it can be blisters on the palms and the soles. It can be just located on the scalp. It can be little flat red patches all over the body. There's all different types. And it's not just affecting the skin. It does also make people more prone to a type of arthritis called psoriatic arthritis, makes you more prone to metabolic syndrome, including things like high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, certain types of cancer like lymphoma. So this inflammation is not just affecting the skin, it's affecting the whole body.
Great. I think that's probably a misnomer for a lot of people, understanding the layers and the actual depth and impact of that condition. So let's talk about kind of traditional, maybe Western medicine treatment options for psoriasis versus how you approach it from a functional medicine standpoint.
Sure. So if you're going to go to the dermatologist, often people will be given creams to start with. And so that will help the outside part of psoriasis. It's not addressing that inflammation internally. But it's only helping temporarily while you use them. And when you stop using the creams, then you're just waiting for the plaques to start coming back. If the creams are effective enough to even take them away, they may just kind of take the edge off. And after creams, there sometimes people will do UV light treatments. Sometimes people will do different oral medications. And then what you see the most when you're watching television are advertisements for the biologics, which are very effective. They are injections that people get. And what that's doing is suppressing that overactive immune system. So, and there are negatives to that, including some of them increases the risk of cancer. Some of them they all to different degrees increase the risk of infections. And there's something too that it's just helping while you're on them. So you have to go into them thinking, this is something I'm going to be on the rest of my life. It's not a on again, off again, or something that's going to clear it up for good and then you get to stop. Versus how I help people look at it is with the 3C skin saving method. And we look at three big chunks. So the first C is to calm the gut, where we're looking at improving the gut health, finding foods that are creating inflammation in the body. And then the second C is clear effects of stress, because stress really fuels inflammation and fuels psoriasis, since psoriasis is a disease of inflammation. So aside from, we can't eliminate stress completely for our life, but helping clients understand what are some things I can do to decrease the effects of stress negatively on my health, helping work with them on how to get better sleep and making sure movement is a big part of your life. Now, it doesn't mean you need to be an intense CrossFitter. I even would argue against doing too intense workouts when you're trying to improve your skin at first, but that general movement regularly is so important. And then the last C we focus on is to clean out toxins, because our body is a vase. We can only pour so much stuff into us before we overflow. And things that we're using on a daily basis, from our personal care products to our household products, these all matter over our lifetime. There are things in the environment we can't avoid. So why not avoid the things that we do have some control over, just so that we're not filling up that vase so fast? So when we balance all three of those C's, that's when people get the improvements and the lasting benefits, not just to their skin, but also to their health and wellness in general.
Yeah. And, we're talking about it in terms of psoriasis, but what you're describing is really a functional medicine approach to,
Yeah.
to health, which
Mm-hmm.
is much more holistic and getting to the root cause of what's going on, which oftentimes is inflammation in the body. Uh,
Yeah.
so I
Right.
love how you've broken that down. It's very organized and clear. And when you're running your own business and, it sounds like your solo practice, you've really created this online program that can take people through step by step, which is very strategic and can be very successful from a business standpoint. So I'd love to shift gears and just learn a little more about your journey as a business owner, as someone who has really focused on this niche of treating skin in this way.
Yeah. So I started my own business because there wasn't a lot out there that I felt that I could just pass that on to my patients in the clinic of, this is how you can address. So I wanted to kind of fill a gap of what's out there focused on skin. Yes, there's a lot of people who are doing just regular functional medicine and health coaching and things like that, but there are some differences when you're really looking at the skin alone, but then also getting further benefit there. So I went out trying to figure this on my own, and the functional medicine program that I went through, they gave you some at that time, gave you some business help, but it was tough trying to figure out how to get the word out. And I'm sure everyone listening to this has felt the same way of, I can help people, but how are people going to find me? So finding a good business coach to help has been huge for me, and being able to get my thoughts into this systemized online program that people can access easily, and how to have a website that's going to be more than just a business card, and how to utilize different modalities of just making sure that you're trying to reach the people who need you. And I found that's the biggest challenge, because there's so much out there in general, and it's just trying to get the people to know that you exist.
Yeah. So what do you feel is like the best part, most fun part for you about running your own business? And what's been the most challenging aside from marketing?
Sure. Yeah. For me, hands down, marketing is the most challenging. But also, the other challenging side is because I am still wearing two hats, and being able to give as much time and love and attention to my business that I want to, but still working a regular job where I'm an employee. So it's being creative. I get up a little bit earlier and I do some things before I go to the office. When it's a good day and I actually get a lunch break, then I'll do some things then. Or in the evening, my daughter's in gymnastics, I'll do some things. I try to balance it so I don't take much time away from the family in the evenings and family on the weekends. But there are those times where you're just really trying to meet a deadline and get things done, that it is a challenge of trying to balance all three: your family hat, your business hat, and being an employee hat. Now, what's most rewarding is seeing people through this program and getting to be able to work with them and interact with them on a regular basis, and then be there for those joyous moments whenever they're like, oh my goodness, my skin is already 75% clearer. And then they're expecting that. But then whenever they get extra bonus improvements that they don't even realize, like, oh my goodness, my stomach is flatter, who knew that was even possible? Or I'm sleeping so much better, or I'm not so grumpy. I'd never realized that how my skin was looking was really affecting me mentally as much as it was. So that's the part that just drives me, that I just really love celebrating the wins with people.
I think a lot of our listeners can probably identify with that kind of middle place where you're still an employee working in, it sounds like in dermatology, right? From a Western sense, and correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. And also
No,
doing
that's
your own
correct.
business and trying to grow it. And you're also a mom. So many of us out there can identify with that part of the journey and trying to,
Mm-hmm.
hold the hats and decide which one we're wearing, at that time. So it sounds like you're doing amazing with it, and you've really created something that is so needed. I'm curious if you have any advice for new providers starting out, specifically in this niche of really wanting to treat the skin in this way, and they want to go out on their
Mm-hmm.
own. What would be, those one or two things that you wish you knew?
Yeah, I wish I knew that it was going to be as difficult as it was to grow. It's you get fed a lot of things about online and that you're going to start this business and you're going to have all these clients just like knocking down your door right out the gate. And I'm sure there are people where that is the case, but both myself and other people that I've been in touch with, it doesn't seem like that's the norm, that it's
Not at
something
all.
that it's trickles. Right. It trickles. And so don't give up. Just keep going. It's okay if the ball starts rolling slow because it will eventually pick up speed. And she's an acupuncturist, but someone that I had worked with through different business coaching. I'll never forget her just saying, give it a year and a half before you really expect to start seeing that ball rolling. And I truly feel that that was pretty spot on, that at least in my experience, that, it just took a lot longer than I guess in my rose-colored glasses that I thought that it would, but it's not giving up. It's just really keep going. And if you feel a passion for it, you can do it. And you will learn along the way. You're going to mess up. You're going to send emails that you didn't want to send yet. There are things that we all do, but that are learning experiences. And don't compare yourself to other people, because even if we're both doing programs on psoriasis, we are all going to speak to different people. So the need is out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that last piece of comparison, right? Only compare yourself to your past self, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
do you want to go? What do you want to do? And I agree, there's just room for everybody, and there's a high need out there. And so I think that is solid advice. You have an awesome giveaway for our audience if you want to tell everybody about it.
Sure. So I have an ebook. It's called The 3-Day Jumpstart to Loving Your Skin. And it's a small ebook, and it gives actionable help just to get started whenever someone has psoriasis and they don't even know where to begin. So inside, they'll find a 3-day meal plan with easy recipes, some stress relieving tips, simple detox strategy, just to get someone started. Super simple, easy steps. And you can access that at www.3dayjumpstart.com. And it's written out 3 instead of just the number 3. So 3dayjumpstart.com, and you can get that. It'll come right to your inbox in your email.
Wonderful. And how can people find you if they would like to consult with you, or are local to your business, or want to do your program online? How do they do that?
Yeah. The easiest way is to go to fountainmillsfunctionalwellness.com. That's my website. There's all different ways you can contact me. Email's great. If you have any questions, you can absolutely reach out to me. And then there's also the different social media places that you can follow, and YouTube. But going to the website is where you'll be able to access all the information on what you would need.
Dayna, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com for more show notes and additional episodes. Plus, if you do have time, please subscribe to the podcast, and please consider rating and reviewing the show. That will help other people find us. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.